Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Wolfel and welcome to our presentation on the advantage of the MBA. To my right, see, it doesn't work. To my right and to my left are my team members Anita Green, Jarvis Nichols, and Waleed Chatila. Our presentation is going to take 6 sections, and I'm going to begin with the degree of expectation. After I speak, then the remaining 3 will come up into the subsequent sections, and I will return once more to leave you with a parting message. Okay? So the fundamental concern with the MBA is that we have to deal with that degree of expectation that comes with it, and how does that degree of expectation materialize? Well, as soon as your employer sees that MBA on your resume, snap goes in his head, all the other MBAs that were brilliant, and he's trying to slot you in to see whether or not you're going to be the carbon copy of that other MBA, male or female, doesn't matter. You all are just these brilliant duplicates of solution solvers, problem solvers. So what he's going to try to do is, while he's talking to you, he's going to be looking for how can he slide you in, and he's going to be hanging in on all the things that you say, and there's that expectation that you're going to have to meet that, because when you flub it, you immediately take a couple steps back. Now, the reason that expectation is so high is because there's a constant branding process. Universities are always advertising their programs. Companies do pay more for that. We all know that it's a grueling process, and we talk about it every day. So we've started, the people that graduate feel a little bit similar because they've gone through the same struggle, and the people that don't, well, they overcome it, but they still feel a little reverence for the people that did graduate. So it even adds more of a mystery and intrigue to that branding. The branding brings an expectation that we think of those 2 fundamental expectations that go with every graduate are that they will have exemplary communication skills and exemplary critical thinking skills. Now, Waleed and Jarvis are going to talk about that, but I'd like to talk just a little bit about how can we leverage and maximize the fact that expectation is out there. Number 1, we have to graduate. Nothing's going to get maximized unless we graduate, right? Okay, so we're past that, we graduate, but I contend that it's incumbent upon us to practice continuously each and every day and demonstrate those skills throughout our work life and in our home life and in every part of our life. Because these skills are perishable skills. That's why we have to practice. They take effort to maintain. If we graduate and then coast, when that opportunity comes and that person's assessing and hanging on every word, comparing you to the carbon copy, well, we're not going to measure up. And with that, I'd like you to invite Waleed to come up, and he's going to talk about effective communication.
Thank you everyone. Hello everyone. I would like first, my name is Waleed Chatila. I would like to talk about improving communication skills after getting an MBA degree. First, I'm going to talk about myself as an international student coming thousands of miles away. I want to talk about how to gain this opportunity to meet new people, meet new students, work effectively with them, gain more networking, gain more connections, especially when you need to work in business career field. Communication is always needed. Also, when you need to work with even if you're going to work alone, communication is always needed. Even if you want to plan to own your own business in the future, and to work with no employees, only to work alone, you still have to need to work with customers in order to reach success. And now I would like to invite Jarvis to talk about critical thinking as another advantage of getting an MBA.
Thank you, Waleed. I'd like to speak to you about the critical thinking aspects of pursuing an MBA degree. An MBA degree can broaden your perspective in many ways, from your personal views on politics to being able to understand the ebbs and flows of the economy. As you can tell, my focus and primary concentration of study will be the financial aspects of business. Each of us has chosen our own perspective, choices of concentration of study. This in-depth knowledge gained in graduate school can't be attained just anywhere. It's taught by professionals who have the experience and the expertise to prepare an MBA student for real-life experience and for leadership opportunities. Another aspect of critical thinking is the strategic analysis, which is defined as the process of developing a strategy for a business by researching the business and the environment in which it operates. Lastly, many of us are on track to becoming managers, or we have the desire to be in leadership positions. My pursuing an MBA degree, you'll gain this insight, and you'll be prepared for opportunities as they arise. And now I'd like to bring up Annette, and she'll explain the expanded opportunities of pursuing an MBA.
Thank you, Jarvis. By having an MBA, it will enable us to achieve our professional, personal goals, whether it be in academia, self-employment, or working within a Fortune 500 company. This degree will give you an opportunity to excel into prominent positions. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will achieve a management position. It just gives you the opportunity to do so. Having an MBA can give you visibility and exposure to upper management that you may not necessarily receive. In this role, at least in corporate America, it is about who you know, not just what you know. By having this type of exposure, it can lead to potential positions in management. One example, I have a coworker that had no prior work experience, but he obtained his MBA, and this led to him receiving more exposure to senior management. And it eventually led to him to receiving a team lead position. Now, he wasn't the best team lead, but that exposure led him to also get a managerial position within 6 months to a year. This leads me to the next benefit of having an MBA. It ultimately leads to higher salary increase, especially for recipients from top tier schools. As a former HR representative, I know that the salary of an entry-level position for an MBA student can be an upward of $100,000. There is even some flexibility of approximately $20,000 additional increase if you have offer and depending on your concentration. Last but not least, a person must be marketable if he or she wishes to compete in this market. Having an MBA gives you that marketability factor. Employees know that a person with an MBA is dedicated, has high potential, and is loyal for the most part. There are some major characteristics that employees look for in potential employees. I will now turn it back over to Joseph, and he will conclude our presentation.
If you look up at the screen there, I've accented the word risk with capital letters. Probably a no-no here. And, but I did it for purpose because we talked a lot about the rewards, and I think they've been well established here. But what are the risks? What do we risk every day when we go into an MBA program? And how long do those risks last? Do they endure, or is it just momentary? Well, obviously we risk the time and the energy and maybe some of our egos in pursuit of this career or this certificate. But and then again, there's the money or the loans, which we're going to be shackled to for a while. But beyond that, let's just suppose we all graduate. What do we risk after that? Well, our team thinks that there's a continual risk. Each and every day we risk the continuous challenge of trying to meet that expectation. It's out there. You've got a tag on, you've got a badge on your chest that says, I've achieved that. Expect that of me. Now what we have to do, we're working very hard here, and a lot of times we just think, oh, I need a break. But once you graduate, you're going to have to work every day this hard to continue to fulfill that expectation. And that's what we wanted to impart to all of our classmates, is that we're going to make that commitment to ourselves. So with that, I'd like to just conclude and say thank you very much for listening, and we had a lot of fun doing this. Thank you.